What's up, sports fans? This is Josh from PBSports checking back in with y'all with another video. We are in March, in the midst of March Madness, one of the greatest times to be a college sports fan in particular, but a basketball fan in general, no doubt. We just got the round of 64 settled and completed, or I guess set, with the first round games being finished up last night. We had some great ones. North Carolina dominating their first round game. We had a last-second shot with Alabama State over St. Francis to secure a 16 seed and a spot to play against Auburn. We had Xavier coming back, basically getting beat the entire game and coming back and finishing strong in the second half to beat, and in my opinion, upset the Texas Longhorns. So we got a lot to discuss. We got some upsets in mind that I'd like to put in you guys' face and see what you guys think. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all. So as I mentioned before, with the first round games being completed last night, like I said, we had the first game of the tournament, Alabama State taking on St. Francis. And, well, I was sitting on my couch watching, so I'll just let y'all kind of get a recap of what I saw.
Bro, what the fuck? 2 seconds on the clock. Tie ball game? Not anymore. Oh my God. Bro, this is...
And there you have it. As you can tell, I really love March. I love March Madness. I love the absolute dogfight that you see game in and game out with these teams because they know that it can be their last game with each other if they do not get the win. So great game, great win for Alabama State. Congrats to them, their first ever tournament win. That's huge for them and for the SWAC as well. Good luck to them for the remainder of the way. So after that, we had North Carolina absolutely dominate San Diego State from start to finish. San Diego State, honestly, they looked like the team that didn't belong. Everybody was saying North Carolina don't belong. Their AD was on the selection committee, and yes, that is a bit fishy. But they seem to prove themselves, at least in this first round game. Now, if they win their next game, yeah, I guess there's really nothing we can really say. They're beating now two teams that I think a lot of people are expecting them to beat. And I honestly, I have them winning their next game. I have both teams, both 11 seeds that won their first round game to win their round of 64 game. Xavier defeating Texas last night, as I discussed previously. They are very much a senior-led type of team. They're very much older. They're more experienced, and it looked like that came through in that Texas game. I mean, they were down by as many as I want to say, 14 to 16 points, but it was consistent that they couldn't get within like 8 to 6. Like they were within 9, then it was 12, back to 10, then it was 12 or 13. Like they couldn't really get into a groove until midway through the second half. They just started really turning up the pressure. They started making their shots, playing better defense, controlling the ball better. So I look for them to also pull off their upset. They play Illinois on Friday. But I look for that to be a win for them as well. There's a statistic that I learned last night that only 1 year since they've had the first four, what they call it, is of the first round because there's 4 games. Only one of those first 4 teams. There's only been 1 year where none of the first 4 teams, only 1 year where none of the first 4 teams have won multiple games. So that means they win their first round game and then they win at least their round of 64 game. Only 1 year that hasn't happened since they've been doing it. So that gives me a reason to believe that, one of these teams has to do it. They're gaining momentum. Xavier's a good team to get on their coattails because they have won 8 out of their last 9 games, and they've been scoring over 85 points in those games. And I believe 4 of those games have been decided by 8 or less. So again, I didn't do any statistical analysis before getting on this video, so please don't come after me in the comments. If you do, I don't care. Like I said, I don't really know. I do know they have won their last 8 out of their last 9, though. I do know that is a fact. So in that case, just going off of that, you got to like their chances going into their game against Illinois. After that, we had a Mount St. Mary's getting their win in the first round. They are another 16 seed. I believe they're going to play Duke. I don't know. But that is another one for the first four from the last couple of days. Now, moving forward, I'm one of the people that I really struggle with my upsets. I really struggle with who is this 15 seed that's going to make this Cinderella run. And I normally almost don't pick any of them because it just doesn't feel comfortable. And that always gets me beat in my March Madness, groups and challenges with my friends and all that. It always gets me beat. But let's talk about some upsets that I do have, or potential upsets that I don't like, but they are there, that you can't deny. So let's talk about them. Upset alerts. All right, man, this is the upset alerts of the day. So just in the round of 64, I have a few. Like I said, they're not big, major, blockbuster, head-spinning upsets, but they are some that I think a lot of people still won't expect or still aren't counting on these teams to do anything. So first up, I have McNeese State. They are a 12 seed. They are going up against the 5th seeded Clemson. Clemson, they haven't been bad, basically finishing the season, but they haven't finished very strong, and they play in a conference, the ACC, that has, I believe, 16 teams in it and only put 4 in the tournament, including North Carolina that was in the first round. So you got to think that conference being on a bit of a struggle bus, being on a bit of a down year, and you got McNeese State, who has lost, I believe, 3 games in the last 2 years. They have been dominating their conference. Their coach has been there for, I believe this is his 3rd year, if not his 2nd year. He has just led this team and turned them completely around. His first year coming into the program, they finished their previous year single-digit wins, probably last in the conference. Turn them around immediately. NCAA tournament bid again. These guys are confident, and they are, again, another old senior-led type of team. So keep an eye out for McNeese. One that I don't like but is on the radar is number 11 Drake over number 6 Missouri. I don't like that upset because I am a Missouri fan. I'm gonna ride with my dogs. I'm gonna ride with Mizzou on this one. I like Missouri's size. I like their depth that they have, and I like the way that they play. They play fast. They play with speed. Now, if they can't hit their shots and they can't rebound, that's where that becomes a problem. But like I said, our size is a lot bigger than Drake's, so I do like our chances there. But Drake is 30-3, very confident. I don't know how many games in a row they've won, but they're also a team that plays completely different from Missouri. Like I said, Missouri likes to run, they like to shoot fast, and turn up pressure on defense and create offensive chances as quickly as possible. Drake is the complete opposite. They like to slow down. They don't care if they only score 45 points to 50 points in their game. As long as they hold you to less, then they don't really care how much they score. So that's going to be something that you got to keep an eye out for, but MIZ all the way. Another one, a lot of people have been picking this one. This is Arkansas over Kansas. Kansas, once again, they are on a down year. They have really struggled. They've kind of been playing better towards the end of the year, though. They thought they were going to go a little further in their conference tournament. Arizona had some different thoughts about it and bumped them out a little early. And so they are a 7 seed, and they're playing against Arkansas. Now, the reason I have Arkansas winning this game, if you haven't been paying attention, Arkansas played pretty poorly all the way through till about January. Then they started kicking up things. They started getting healthy. They started playing together and playing in unison. And I saw it a few times with them playing against Kentucky, them playing very well at home against Mizzou, very good in the tournament against I want to say South Carolina, and even against Texas. So there is definitely a room for an upset there. I also have VCU, an 11 seed, going up against 6-seeded BYU. Not a lot of people really got VCU on their radar, but that is a team that, one, has history of making runs in the I want to say NCAA tournament. They also top of the A10 in every category. They dominated the conference tournament, and they're going up against a BYU team who, while can shoot, can also be inconsistent at times. So you got to watch out for those teams. Teams that are finishing, kind of stumbling to the finish line towards the end of the year, those are the teams that you really have to keep in mind when you're thinking about upsets, because most of the times when you see them losing 4 or 5 out of the last 6 or 4 out of the last 6 or 5, they are really trying to get that together in such a short amount of time. And the players feel that. The players start to feel a lot of that pressure. So just keep in mind for those upsets. All right, y'all, but really quickly before I get out of here, I want to encourage y'all to definitely leave your comments and leave your Final Four picks, leave your biggest upsets and your Cinderella story for the year, and leave us just a comment about your team and what you're excited to see for this tournament. But without further ado, my Final Four picks are Michigan State, Alabama, Florida, and Houston. Now, on the one side, Michigan State will play Florida if that works out, or if they both go. And I got Michigan State beating Florida. All right. Then on the other side, Alabama and Houston. I'm going to take Alabama over Houston. I think one SEC team will make it to the national championship, and I don't like it because I hate Alabama athletics. I do. But I'm going to put them in. But that doesn't mean they're going to win. I got Michigan State Spartans winning it all. I feel like they have the most collected team. They are the toughest team, coached by the toughest man in college basketball, Tom Izzo. I think this is their year. I think they have looked better than so many of the great teams that came before them that have gone to the Final Four, that have gone to the national championship. They haven't won a national championship since, I want to say, the early 2000s, but they've had many teams go to the Final Four, Elite Eight, national championship, and fall at that point. But this team is better than all of those teams. This team is around the caliber, if not better, their last national champion team. So go Spartans, go green, go white, and go PB Sports. Peace.